Hi everyone, today's video is going to be a top 10 and I've done top 5 eyeshadow palettes and bottom 5 eyeshadow palettes and top 5 highlighters. And so today I decided I was going to do a top 10 favorite items at the drugstore. So these are not all encompassing, like if you just bought this stuff you probably wouldn't get yourself a full look. And there are certain things that I didn't mention at all. Just these are the absolute my favorite 10 things that I currently have from the drugstore. Now, some of these are drugstore priced items because in today's world when you can buy things online from like indie brands and stuff, I don't feel like things actually have to be from Walgreens. I feel like it's really about the price and not about where you physically buy it. So let's just go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, I have the Maybelline Master Contour Palette. Now they have 3 shades of this. They have light, medium, and dark. I obviously have the light because I have light skin tone. And I really like this. This contour is very cool tone and it looks so great on the skin. This blush is a nice matte blush. It's kind of pinky. I feel like it's relatively neutral and goes with any look. And this highlighter is really pretty as well. It's not the most like super extreme highlight, but it's very pretty and it looks really natural on the skin. And that's what I personally like. If you're looking for one of those that you can see from space, there you go. So you can see how natural that contour is. Really love those shades. But like I said, if you're looking for a highlight that you can see from space, you might not like it, but it's still very nice and it is buildable. So this is definitely my first item. I actually bought this when I did a full face Maybelline. I'll link that below as well. And I found this and I found a lot of things. There's actually 3 things in this video that I got from that. So here we go, Master Contour. Next is another Maybelline item, and it's the Maybelline Color Tattoos. I feel like people don't really talk about these anymore, and that's fine. I still love cream eyeshadows. I would rather wear a cream eyeshadow than a normal base, especially cream eyeshadows where you don't have to layer them. So certain ones you have to put like a clear or like, you know, neutral, what do you call it? Eyeshadow primer on and then put the base over it. I don't like that. With these, you don't have to do that. You can just put this cream base on and you're good to go. I have 2 shades. Now, they have really reduced their shade range, which sucks because they're not as popular anymore. But I still like them and I still recommend them if you see them. Oh, we've got, okay, I'm just pulling and here's another Maybelline item from that video. This is the Maybelline Dream BB Fresh. So it's a BB cream. This is in the shade light to medium and it's a sheer tint and I feel like that's accurate. It's not super high coverage. What it does is it just perfectly evens out your skin tone. So I have some redness around my cheeks and on my nose, and if I use this, it doesn't give me full coverage, but it makes me look really natural and just a little bit more even. I will usually use a concealer with it just to kind of pair it and make it a little more high coverage in certain areas, but for generally all over my skin, this works really well, and it looks like real skin. It doesn't look like you didn't put anything on. So I really like it and I highly recommend it if you want something with light coverage that looks like skin but it doesn't do nothing. There are definitely some BB creams in the drugstore that I feel like you just kind of wasted your time putting it on. That's not the case with this guy, but it's also not super high coverage. Next, we have the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. A lot of people have talked about this concealer and I didn't try it until that video and I just love it. I put it under my eyes and I feel like it really lasts a long time. It doesn't crease too much. Now I do have fine lines under my under eyes, so it, you know, there's creasing there because of the skin, but it doesn't accentuate anything. It looks really nice and it's super cheap. I feel like this had a lot of hype on YouTube and it's kind of died down, but in my opinion, it's still amazing and I still really recommend it. So next we're gonna go to Colourpop and I have the Colourpop Super Shock Cheeks. These specifically are the highlighters. Now I have a blush and I like it fine, but I think this highlighter is amazing. It's in the shade Hippo, but it is extremely intense. So if you want like shine bright like a diamond highlighter, there it is. It looks amazing. It's a pinky purple highlight, so I really like it. But I just feel like it is really bright, but it's also kind of natural. You don't get a stripe on your skin. It really nicely blends into the cheek and it looks like a highlight. It doesn't look like you just put some glitter on your face, and I like that. I like one that I'm cool with a more natural, not super glowy, but whatever it is, I want it to look like skin. I don't want it to look like I put a glitter strip on, and this does that. I love it and I highly recommend the Colourpop highlighters. Next is something that I haven't really heard about, and I got it in a huge gift set. And it is the Ulta Beauty Lip Liner Pencil. Today, this is a shade Flush, but I have a few of them. These are really great. They're creamy enough to go on your lips pretty easily, but they're not so creamy that you just kind of like spread it all over your face. I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes I feel like with lip liners, if they're too creamy, I just like end up not being able to be a very defined line because they're so creamy. But with this, you can get a really defined line. It has some pretty decent pigmentation. That's just one stripe, but you know, it's really nice pigmentation. I think they work really well and they're really inexpensive. So if you are looking for a good lip liner in the drugstore, I really recommend the ones from Ulta Beauty. Next is another product that I feel like was really hyped up for a while. The hype has kind of died down. They make less shades. I think they do still produce these. If they don't, I'm sorry. But it's the L'Oreal Infallibles. These are amazing. If you want a super pigmented shade, like this is great. I like to use shades that are pretty much just lid shades just because that's my personal pigment preference. It's a pressed pigment, but as you can see, I mean, it stays in the pan pretty well. But you know, people spend a ton of money on Natasha Denona and stuff, and I have some high-end eyeshadow palettes, you know that. But that's amazing. The pigmentation, the quality, you're just not gonna, I mean, you're not really gonna find something better. It's very similar to the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill. Now, I've never tried one of those because I haven't felt the need to, because I have these L'Oreal Infallibles. So if you're looking for a really nice shade in the drugstore that's got a lot of pigment and a lot of power, I recommend trying these. Now, another thing you could try, and it's from the drugstore, but you have to order it online, is Geek Chic Cosmetics. Now, I have done a review of 2 Geek Chic cosmetic palettes that I have, or pigment sets. So all of theirs are pigments. So if you don't like pigments, obviously you're not going to like these. I don't mind pigments as long as they're a really bright shade, something that's worth a little bit of extra effort. But these are amazing. They stay on your lid. A couple of them do stain, but you know, that's okay with me. I don't really mind that. I think this one does. This is the Destroyer from the Awesome Mix set. But all of the ones I've tried from her, I'm so pleased with. I feel like they are extremely unique, very multidimensional. They're worth checking out and getting online. This is beautiful and I recommend it a lot. Next is something else that I feel like no one ever talks about, and it's this green concealer. Now this like peachy tone one is fine, but this green concealer is by Physicians Formula. They also have it in like a little crayon, like lipsticky stick. And it is amazing. I've tried a couple of green concealers. This one is the best. I have some redness like around my lips and stuff because that's where I'm driest, so it's where I get red. And this blends in so nicely. It's a little bit of a drier consistency, which is why I don't love the peachy tone one like for under my eyes because it's a little too dry. But on your face, it's really nice because it's a little drier, but it blends out. I have green concealer on today. I don't feel like you can tell. And I feel like it's got the exact right amount of pigmentation where it's definitely green, but it's not so green that you look like you have your Shrek. It's a perfect shade of green. I tried another one that was a little more blue, and I don't feel like it did as well as color correcting as this. So if you're looking for a green concealer, the Physicians Formula Concealer 101 is the way to go. As you can see, I've almost used it all up. Really like that. And lastly is another product that's really hyped. A lot of these products are hyped. There's a reason for it. I didn't want to just try to do like things that nobody ever talks about. I wanted to do my honest to goodness top 10 favorite drugstore items. So the last one is a Colourpop Super Shock Shadow. Now people are saying they don't like these as much. They're harder to use, and that's fine. I use them with my finger, which I don't love. I really prefer using a brush, but finger is the best way to apply this. They're so pigmented. They, to me, or at least the ones I have, like, you might as well be using a pigment. Like, this is the shade Dare. I personally like the really glittery ones. I just think they're, you know, like I said, if you're gonna, for me, if I'm gonna grab, let's look at how glittery and beautiful that is. If I'm gonna grab for a single shadow, it needs to be something that is unique enough, cool enough, wow enough to make me want to grab for it instead of a palette. So all of the Super Shock shades that I have are very impressive. They're very shiny. They're very, wow, let me put this on my lid and it makes an impact. And so I really like them and I really recommend them, and they're $5, so you can't really go wrong. So that was kind of a lot quicker than I thought. I didn't mean to be speeding through it, but I guess I did. But those are my 10 items. If you're going to the drugstore or you're looking for drugstore price makeup online, if you're like, I don't know what to try, that's my top 10 suggestions. So I hope you found this video helpful. If there's something I didn't mention, you're like, girl, you need to try this. Let me know. I love trying new makeup. So as always, please leave any questions, requests, suggestions, comments down below. Any video I mentioned will be linked below if you want to check that out, and I'll just see you all real soon. Bye.